Live from North Beach in San Francisco, here's Johnny! All right, say hi. What are you
live?
doing? Yes, we're live.
Hey, hi everybody. Benvenuti, welcome. I missed you guys. It's been 3.5 years since we went dark on my YouTube channel. Thank you all for sticking with us, and thanks for joining today. Let me tell you who I'm here with. Two of my producers. Jeff's here. Hi, Jeff. And Gwen, and she may be behind the scenes. We're going to hear her voice every once in a while. She may peek out and show us a picture. So let's get going. Say hello in comments. You can continue to interact with me as the live stream plays out. And Gwen tells me there's some people out there I know. Age first, my sister Rose up in Vermont, my niece Heidi in Virginia, and I think Matt and Nina are with us too. We'll tell you a little bit more about those two folks because they had a lot to do with us being here today. So I'm going to be eating a special dish. You're going to see me because it's still cooking in the kitchen. After we get going a little bit, if I pop out, it's because I want to plate up the pasta dish that I made. I didn't want to make it in advance because then I'd have to eat it cold. So it's anybody else eating right now? If you are, comment. Let me know what you're eating. Hey, Jeff, you too busy? You got something to eat over there?
No, I do. I have something. It's a local tamale from a place in Sonoma. The brand is called Primavera. And that's a roasted pumpkin and white cheddar tamale. So
that sounds like it's delicious. Give me some.
Yeah, I'll pass some over too.
Gwen can't hear me, so I don't know what she's eating, right?
No, she can hear you now. Only whenever she's playing a video, she can't hear you.
Gwen, what are you eating? Oh, no, I think I know. You got chips?
They're pepperoncini.
Okay, at least they're Italian. I love our virtual communal table here. We got good company, hopefully good food and good conversation. Gwen, anybody tell us what they're eating?
I haven't seen anything yet.
I see one from Mary Johnson. She says she's plated up some sausage and peppers.
From who?
There it is.
From Mary Johnson.
Ah.
Oh. And from Chili Pez, brisket. Up all night smoking it.
Oh my God. I'd like some of that too.
Greek yogurt. I like just the simple ones too. The junk food even. I love it.
Yeah, why not? Whatever you like. It's all good.
The drunk cook says he's got cannelloni. Todd's enjoying a glass of Merlot. So, Shady Grady is having Skittles.
Excellent.
So, we should warn people, or I don't know if it's a warning or whatever, but because you've got the stuff cooking in the kitchen, you may have to pop away for a second and just make sure it's not boiling over because there's some pasta involved, but that's all good.
Yeah. It's an easy dish. Should I tell them what it is before I do it?
Sure.
Okay. So a couple of years ago, I took my first trip to Ischia. It's a beautiful island in the middle of Bay of Naples. So it was getting to be lunchtime and we were hungry. We found this little family-owned osteria right across the road from the beach. And I'm looking at the menu and I see on there spaghetti al limone, spaghetti with lemon. I never heard of it. Who puts lemon on pasta? So I talked to the guy a little bit. You'll read the whole story when we post it. The cook told me what the ingredients are, but he didn't tell me what the measurements were. So when I got back, I was able to make the sauce my own after about a week of trying. It's a very simple uncooked sauce. So all I'm worried about in the kitchen is waiting for the spaghetti to boil al dente. And then it's going to go right into this uncooked sauce with 4 ingredients. Just extra virgin olive oil, lemon zest in a juice, Parmesan cheese, and cream. That's it. and no cooking. So pasta comes out of the water, it's going to go right into the bowl, and I'm hungry. So when I think I got to go in there to get the pasta, I'm gonna bug out. I'll leave you in Jeff and Gwen's hands for just a couple of minutes.
Oh, we got some more foods coming in here. Looks like Rose says she's eating homemade Vermont rice pudding with local maple
Oh,
syrup.
that's my
We
sister.
love going local. Oh, that's your sister. Hi, Johnny's sister.
Hey, Jeff,
Yeah,
go ahead. So,
I got nothing, man. This is your show.
okay. So, it's been a rough year, right? We've been locked down in various stages of lockdown here in San Francisco since the end of February. Things go up and down. You can't do this, you can't do that. But in the beginning, it was a complete lockdown. There was a while when I was actually isolated on the top of the hill because the buses stopped running. So if I went down the hill, I would have to hike up like 5 very steep hills. So I only did once in a while. I'm sorry, a hummingbird's visiting me outside my window here. I love them. So, my village life, you guys know, I spend all my time down in the village. I go down every day. I buy what I'm going to eat that night. I socialize with friends, sometimes have a meal with them. I talk to all my vendors. My butchers have been my butchers for 30 years. Same things with the produce guys. And all of a sudden, everything was gone. My village life was shaken to the core. But, day by day, we prevailed in community and kitchen. I was able to survive and flourish, and food has been my comfort and joy over this last year. It's kept me healthy, it's kept me alive, and it's been enjoyable. That's really been the thing that has kept me going. It's been my kitchen, and when things opened up a little bit, reconnecting with my friends and my vendors, and for those times when we opened up a little bit, and we're opened up a little bit now, it's like a new world blossomed. And in the past, it would blossom and then it would close. But right now we're open and the weather's gorgeous, 60s, bright sunshine. So there's hope. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. How's it been for you, Jeff?
Well, it's been a mixed bag, but I mean, I do want to say that I feel like we live in San Francisco, so there's a lot of privilege that happens here, and I'm always grateful for whatever form of that I get. And one of them is that although I have a 2-year-old son and we're at home, my wife and I working full time, both of us, it's still nice that he's not in school because we don't have to deal with that. And I feel for people who do deal with that on a daily basis. But the other thing that I was going to say is that, another silver lining, which I think is an art form that we've all probably tried to perfect over the last year or so, coming up with silver linings, is your lifestyle, Johnny, and this show to some degree is almost a perfect fit for the kind of forced simplicity that we have to adapt to, and assuming that you can get down to the village, you do have a local source for good food. It's especially a silver lining. But even if you don't have that, if you're ordering all your food and your ingredients from Amazon or from Whole Foods or whatever your online thing is,
No.
well, but
No,
people are locked down.
No, I got
People are
you.
locked down. It's not like
I
they
have
choose to
people in
do
my
it.
building who are doing that. They get all of their food every day delivered several times a week from Whole Food. They're in their 80s. They can't go out. I understand.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, what I'm saying too, though, is that with the kind of meals that your recipes give people are very simple. So, you don't have to load your fridge up with a bunch of, packaged final products that you then have to microwave or, whatever. I mean, they're simple ingredients, so you can sort of, you can cook along, even in especially in these kinds of situations that we're in now. So.
Yeah.
But people should tell us what they've been doing, and we'll respond in the comments, in terms of if they've been cooking your meals, which I know they have because we've already gotten comments like that. But
yeah, so I kind of fell into a routine. I do most of my food I cook myself, and that's important during the pandemic because I go down the hill and I support my local markets. And then when I get tired of Johnny's cooking, I'll do takeout to support my favorite North Beach spots, because I've been with these people for 3 decades. And I want to make sure that they're here when we get to the other side. How about some of the folks out there? How's food comforted and nourished all of you people? You've been cooking my stuff, cooking other favorite things. I mean, for me, it's really been a bright star. That's really been my salvation, is my life around food. Either cooking here, when I go and get takeout, I can reconnect with, Jen and Darren at Da Flora, with Santo at his restaurant, with Frankie at Portofino. It's just, little by little, the life comes back. Brick by brick, it's rebuilt, the village life.
Someone wants to see your tea.
My t-shirt, ta-da! Can you see it?
Yeah, looks great.
Okay, North Beach. We're still here. We're kicking.
And I guess you've had to put on hold, obviously, your annual trip back to Italy too.
It's been nasty. No Italy, no going back to the East Coast to spend time with family and friends. I have a grandniece whose wedding's coming up in Jersey, and it's going to be too early for me to get back on a plane. So, what we've been doing is, among my family and my friends, we've been reviewing past trips and, just reveling in the good times that we've had. And it's become a tradition for us lately. We're creating a list because we all are so anxious to get back to being able to be together, travel together, and make new memories. So that day will come, and I think it's on the horizon. I can't wait to get back to New Jersey, New York. Can't wait to get back to Providence and see my friends in Rhode Island. And of course, I'm aching to get back to Italy. But they won't let us in now. So we got to wait for things to calm down a little bit before that becomes possible.
All right, so I just want to remind you, in case you need to go check on your pasta, is everything okay with that?
Yeah. You know what, Jeff? Let me pitch a topic to you, and maybe you can talk a little bit about this while I run
All
into
right.
the kitchen.
I know I'm a sorry substitute for you, but I'll try to keep them occupied while you go check your pasta.
Well, the issue is that I've been hearing for 3.5 years. Why did we stop? Why did we stop production? We started, I think the first video was in 2010, and most of the videos were produced by you and Gwen. You do a great job. And the last one actually was when I cooked a meal in our apartment in Ortigia, and my friend David was able to video that for us, and that was in June of 2017, as I recall. So we were out at this for 7 years. It was, it was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun. I think you guys really created some great episodes. But when I retired from my day job in 2015. When I retired, I started to get involved in teaching classes at Francisco Middle School, at Galileo High School here in the neighborhood, and at Tell High. I taught an outdoor cooking class for senior citizens, taking trips to Italy, spending a month in Naples. You guys went on to do other things. So what's your view? Why did we miss the last 4.5 years producing in my kitchen?
Well, I mean, kind of like you said, it's always been a bit of a labor of love. I mean, you and I met at the job that you had before you retired, and so we'd already known each other. And I was starting to get into video production, and I was like, hey man, why don't we do a little cooking show? Because I had experienced your cooking, because you'd had me and other people from the company over on a regular basis, or at least once a year. You do a big 4-course meal, and I just always thought this deserves its own show. So we put it together, and we always kind of said, look, let's do it because we want to do it, because it's a lot of fun to share this kind of stuff. And if something happens, like on the financial side, so be it. And if not, and we can't do it anymore, we won't do it. And So I think we started off with that sort of approach that was never really full on. Like we didn't go out looking for investment or, try to get into debt or something in order to make this thing a quote financial success. But we hit a couple of points there where it was like, oh, you know what? We need to pause for right now. And at the beginning, way back before Google and YouTube changed their algorithm,
Hey, Jeff, I'm going to interrupt you. I'm going to check on the pasta, okay?
Okay. And I apologize to everybody
But
watching.
Don't know lies.
Well, you can't hear me right now, although you could watch this video later, so I got to be careful. So I'm sorry. I know nobody wants to really hear me talk, but I'm going to talk about Johnny, so maybe I'll be able to keep you busy. So yeah, the channel grew pretty well at first, just organically. Like every time we come out with an episode, we'd get tons of subscribers and lots of views, and then all of a sudden the algorithm changed, and that wasn't happening as much. It was much slower growth, and so that was fine. But after a while, I had to pursue other things, and Gwen had to pursue other things, and so we just put a pause. And so we usually tried to keep things active. Johnny would post recipes even when we weren't doing video episodes and stuff like that. But the last few years, like he indicated, he got really busy. So he just kind of put everything on pause. But we never really went away. I mean, the site kind of fell apart and we lost access to the recipes, and people definitely rightfully called us out on that.
That was my fault.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that. It's just overall, a lack of resources, and we weren't active. But they're in particular, Johnny mentioned Matthew Richards, and he was definitely a little bit more persistent in his pursuit of getting a hold of us and saying, hey, why aren't there more shows and what's going on? And it was a little bit funny because he actually got me on the phone, which I don't pick up my phone if I don't see a number that I recognize. But on this particular day when he called, I happened to be waiting for a call from someone who I knew I wasn't going to recognize when they called. So when it popped up on my phone, I answered it. And he was as surprised as I was, I think, that I answered.
You talking about Matt?
Yeah. So he just like immediately he even though we didn't know each other, he was just like, oh man, I just really wanted to know what's going on with the recipes and the videos and we had a little chat, and I was touched by it, and I passed it on to Johnny, and he's always touched by getting that kind of interest from fans, and I, it just confirmed what I always knew, which is that, man, even whenever he's gone for 3.5 years, his fan base is still active and we had doubled our subscribers over that period of time. It went from like 20,000 up to like over 40,000 subscribers without us doing anything to it. So it just speaks to the life that these videos bring because of Johnny and his little kitchen and his way of life in the village. So yeah, I'll pass it back over to you, Johnny, but yeah, you can see where we're at in the story, and pretty much caught us up to the present, and who knows what we've got in store for the future. I mean, judging by what happens today, I mean, right now we've got 88 people on the live stream, which isn't bad, I don't think. And there are some options out there now that we didn't have a few years back in terms of, I don't know if people would be willing to pay for content and stuff like that. It wouldn't take a lot to keep us keep us solvent while we put together episodes once we can get together and shoot episodes. But I don't know, Johnny, what do you think?
Well, I miss being in the kitchen, Jeff, and there was even a time when I was thinking about how can I do this during the lockdown. I was thinking about buying one of those drones that follow your movement and seeing if I could move my prep table over near the stove and get the drone to watch me cook it. I mean, I miss it. And the one thing also that I was pondering was, even when we did all of those episodes, there was never, besides you and Gwen and me, there was never any live interaction, right? You remember in the beginning, we brought some people up to my place and they were able to stand outside the kitchen. That really was the only time we did a cooking show with live interaction with people. So, that's another possibility. If I were going to do the drone thing that followed me, maybe I could do it as a Zoom and actually have, see who's there, take questions as I'm cooking the dish. And then I think it would be a more fulsome kind of experience. So if there's a way to do it and if there's any interest out there, I'd love to try to, get back at the stove.
Well, I think the drone idea is a great idea because everybody knows famously how wonderful you are with the latest technology. So, I mean, it's just I'm being a little bit sarcastic there because we almost didn't do this live stream because Johnny couldn't figure out how to log into his laptop.
I try.
But it's a tricky business.
I try. And I don't have any IT department to help me, right? So we got through it.
What do you call me and Gwen? How dare you?
Well, you helped me. But then when I shut you guys off and just got back to it, I was able to log in. I was a little anxious before this all started.
Well, this is the first time we've done this. I mean, actually it's not. We did it once before, about 3.5 years ago. It was one of the last things we did before the channel went down. And we had just gotten the ability to do streaming, and I kind of was all wigged out, like, oh, let's try this new thing, and then we did it, but then for some reason it just, I think we had a decent turnout, but I don't remember exactly why we just shut it down anyway. But anyway, it looks like people are responding and saying they would probably be willing to pay for some of this content, Johnny. So not that that's going to determine whether we get back and do it. I mean, Again, I think we're the same people. You're the same person. It's not going to be a matter of can we make $1 million with this? It's just going to be a matter of, can we get some operating costs to cover doing the fun stuff like what you're looking at right now? I mean, all of this stuff that you're seeing on the screen with the comments and the nice background and all of this stuff is that's all put together by Gwen just because that's what she does now. And it's amazing. I can just call her up and be like, hey, you want to do a live stream? And I thought we were just going to do a Zoom call, And she was like, yeah, sure. And then she flips a switch and all of a sudden all this is happening. And I'm like, wow, okay. And so we operate pretty lean over here. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking because people don't want to hear me talk.
No, that's important. And you and Gwen, if I was ever able to get back with you, it's going to be a lot better than a drone that follows me in the kitchen.
Gee, thanks. Better than a drone. That's all I ever wanted.
Yep. So, when you and Matt talked and then you and I talked, that really lit a fuse, right? The thing that I think I was most disappointed about was in those 4.5 years, drip and drab, we start losing content from the website. There were a lot of recipes that were gone. And, we put a lot of effort in that. And I think a lot of people were getting enjoyment from that. And it really hurt me to see not very much of it left. But after you and I talked, after your conversation with Matt, unbeknownst to me, that little angel Gwen went back and saved everything on the website. She created a new look and feel, all the content's back. It really was an amazing job. So heartfelt thanks to both of you.
Yeah, that was again all Gwen's work, and it looks really great. Thank you. Even though I have to share it with the star of the show.
That's true, but you're not off the hook because then you took the next step and you hosted, unbeknownst to me, the Porchetta War episode, right? And I woke up the next morning. I didn't know nothing about this. I hear all these ping, 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 ping. Everything's coming into my email. And that's when I found out that you had done that. All these comments coming from people. It was amazing. And a lot of them were really heartfelt, Jeff. One was, Johnny, you taught me how to cook. Another one was, I already erected a tombstone on your channel. Man, you got to get your Kulu back in the kitchen. You're sorely missed. Your videos bring me back to happier times in my life. And then I really like this one. Glad to see you are okay. Watch your videos often. They are so relaxing, informative, and uplifting. I feel like visiting a dear relative. Hope you can brighten our days again. So here we are. This is the first step. This is it's a bright day for me. How's that? How's that tamale?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yep. Pumpkin, white cheddar.
You can't beat that.
Where's your food, John?
Oh,
Yeah, is your food?
thanks. I got to go check on the pasta. If it ain't al dente, I ain't eating it. I'll be right back.
Okay. I knew I should have reminded him sooner. I think you probably heard him talk about unbeknownst to me. That's like that's a common phrase that starts most things when he's describing what goes on with the show. It's he's the talent, what are you gonna say? That's your show's only as good as your talent, and so you have to make sure that you accommodate it. And he wants to help, but God love him, usually when he tries to be proactive on the technology side or the production side, he ends up stepping on his own feet. So we just keep him in the kitchen where he does his magic, and we try to cover all the production stuff. And he's a for those of you who are wondering, like, working with Johnny it's an incredible kind of experience, because not only is he so awesome in the kitchen and cooking food, and we get to eat what he makes after the shoot. He when he's on camera, he thinks like a producer. So he's thinking in terms of, how is this going to work in the final production, and how is it going to get edited together. And that is like, for someone like me and for Gwen, who come from a video background, that is really, really important, and it makes your life so much easier. And instead, because when you get done with a production, you have a whole bunch of footage. It's just gobs and gobs of footage, and you have some memories of like what was shot, if you were paying attention, that you want to go and focus on first. And then there's a second kind of tier of content that you're going to just discover while you're randomly reviewing what you got. And the stuff you find then, that's where the gold is. And like with the person that you're working with who's on camera, the better that they can be thinking about how relevant stuff's going to be while they're on camera, the more you're going to have in that category of content. And that means that it's just, the whole thing is going to turn out better. So, and then I'm sure you've noticed, but we really have to do hardly any editing, because he narrates the show so brilliantly while he's cooking. And he does it with, being Johnny, being himself, and also following the recipe and describing it really well. That all I had to do is take out some ums and ahs really in the edit, and it just comes together. And also, he's a horrible, horrible person. No, just kidding.
Oh, me?
No, I was a joke. I was trying to bait you.
Oh.
I just got done saying some stuff about you, so.
Let me see if you can see this. This is, the pasta just came out, and I put it in the bowl with the uncooked sauce, right? So it's absorbing now all of that richness with the cream, the lemon zest, the olive oil, the grated Parmigiano. And you can even see that the pasta's changed color. It's picked up a little bit of a lemon hue. So let me plate some of this up, and I'll finish it, and I'll take a taste and let you know how it came out.
Is it al dente?
It perfectly al dente. Thanks, Gwen, whoever reminded me I had pasta cooking. Okay, I think this is looking pretty good.
So we have a comment from the Clintiodote. FYI, Johnny, I have a 4-year-old Ischia yeast sourdough starter and a 900F oven for Neapolitan pizza. Lucky you were there. I'd love to see it.
Oh. She's got a sourdough from Ischia? I didn't understand that, Jeff.
I don't know. I'm a little bit confused too on how that was structured. Lucky
okay.
you were there. I'd love to see it.
Oh, you got it. If you're in Naples, take one of those hydrofoils over. It's a quick trip. You're there in less than 30 minutes, and it's a great island. It's a great place to spend a day. Hey, Jeff, excuse me. I forgot a fork. I ain't eating this with my hands. It's hot. I'll be right back.
Okay. He forgot a fork. So we really we tried to keep this casual. He has a list of things to like talk about. We were hoping just to respond to comments and just like not get too hung up on doing a perfect production here. So that's our excuse.
Okay, guys, let me see if I can show you this without spilling it. First, I got a little bit of chopped parsley. I'm going to use that just for some color to put on top. And then I got a nice little hunk here of Parmigiano. And I'm just going to grate some on top, and then I'm going to taste it for you.
There's a question about if there's zest in there.
Yeah. So I count the lemon as one, even though it's zest and the juice. But let me see if you guys can see this.
Back it away from the camera a little bit. Back it away towards you. There you go. Now tip it if you can.
Yeah, there's a little bit.
No, don't tip it. Don't tip it. Don't tip it.
I want you to see if you can on the edge there. You see the sauce is there on the plate.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's what it looks like. Should I take a taste?
Yeah, take a taste.
Let me see.
And in the meantime, we got Luis Rivera saying, "Hey Johnny, reminded me of my uncle to take me to North Beach and go to Little City Meats and Yucape's Italian meat market."
Jacoby. Yeah, that guy was about 7 feet tall, and he weighed about 900 pounds, and he made the best sausage in North Beach. And when he died, the tale in the city is they buried him with some of his homemade sausage in both hands. But here we go. Let me taste this for you. Oh my God. Even this half-assed method of running between the kitchen and over here. This sauce is so simple I couldn't even screw it up today. It's got the brightness of the lemon. It's got the richness of the cream, the zestiness of the Parmigiano. Hold on, I gotta have some more. You guys have to try this. I mean, it's really simple.
Okay. FedEx some of that over here.
I think Gwen's gonna put the story up in the recipe.
Yeah, I posted it.
Yeah, sure.
I'll share another link.
Okay, hold on. As my mother used to say, it did come good if I say so myself. When we were around the table, she would make something. If we're eating it, enjoying it, and we waited too long to praise her on how good it was, she would pipe up. She didn't want to wait any longer. Yeah, it did come good if I say so myself. This pasta came good if I say so myself. But because it's such a balanced, really nice flavor, I got a nice little Clos de Bois Sauvignon Blanc from up in Sonoma. So let me pour a little bit of this because I think it's going to be a nice match. This fresh and crispness of the wine to go with that pasta. Salute. Chin chin.
Salute.
A good match. I got a bottle of Gatnar in the back over there. I was going to go red, but I think with this kind of dish, it calls for a nice, crisp, fresh white, and Sauvignon Blanc here fit the bill. I got to have more. Hold on. Say something, Jeff. I'm going to take another bite.
Oh, I was just looking at the website at the recipe, and the photo's really nice that you took there. That looks very. It's much better than looking at the live stream because the video is all blocky. But that photo looks nice.
Oh, that was good too. I ate all of that up.
Yeah, I'll bet. And we're gonna, coming up here, we were thinking of, maybe showing some outtakes from the show. I don't know if people are into that sort of thing. but it could be fun. Gives a little bit of a behind the scenes sort of flavor, and you know, brings Johnny's humor a little bit forward.
Jeff, while
So
you're
maybe we'll
showing
cue
that,
that
could I
up.
run in?
Yeah.
While you're doing, I'm going to run the kitchen, make sure I shut everything off. Okay.
Yeah, if you don't want to be,
But
if you don't need to
save
be
me
here
some
for it.
time because we got some comments about what's in my pantry, and I want to show you some of my key things. And then also Lou from Mansfield, Massachusetts, wanted me to talk a little bit about my time in Providence.
Okay, so Gwen, let's go ahead and play the audio outtakes. I think those are good, and that'll take a couple of minutes.
All right, we're cutting to over to the outtakes now.
I live on top of the hill. But every day I go down to the village to buy the food that I'm going to cook that night. Welcome to what's left of the Italian-American neighborhood in San Francisco. I'm Johnny, and this is my North Beach.
You know what? I know. Ready? Okay, come on down.
Oh, this. He wants to take me to. Oh.
Yeah, this side. Yeah, there you go. That's good. Look at me, John. If you look up at all, look at me. You're not looking at me. What's he looking at? All right, whatever.
One take wonder, John.
All right, let's try it again.
You got a stunt double?
I wish. Stunt double wouldn't complain.
All right.
Slow. I live on top of the hill. Every day I go down to the village to buy what I need to cook dinner that night. I love, wait, let me start over. I live on top of the hill. Every day I go down to the village to buy what I need to cook that night. I love that this is a neighborhood where you can still do that. I'm Johnny, and this is my North Beach. Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
No, every day.
Every day.
There you go. Every day.
Okay. I live on top of the hill. Every day. I'm doing it again. Every day. Say it again. Every day. I live on top of the hill.
No, come on.
Too fast?
I
I live on top of the hill. I live up on the hill. Every day I go down to the village to buy the food that I'm going to cook that night. I love that this is still a place where I can do that. I'm Johnny, and this is my North Beach.
You're back.
Hey, Jeff, yeah. It was easy going down the
I live
steps,
up
but
on the hill.
I know, but every time you didn't like it, I had to climb the damn steps again. I got good exercise that day.
Yeah.
And I live up on the hill every day.
I live up on the hill every day.
Yeah, I
in,
like
day
that.
out.
When I asked for a stunt double, you said you wish you had that person instead of me.
You know, it was funny.
I'm
What
trying
I
to
really liked about that.
open up a bottle over here because I'm going to show you something else that I'm going to have after the pasta. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jeff.
No, I was just saying that what I really liked about that is that it included a line that we eventually took out of the intro. The line, "I love that this is a neighborhood where I can still do that." And I don't remember why we took it out. I think it was just to keep it concise. But that was a big part of well, it is a big part of the theme of the show. It reflects your village lifestyle. I mean, the whole opening does, but like, I like bringing that line back and just kind of like remembering it because I'd forgotten about it.
Yeah, yeah. That was fun. That was a good day. And you got some great shots of Alcatraz, which I see every day when I walk out my front door. Really nice.
And there's that other shot of you, standing next to the street light pole, and there's like the Italian flag over your shoulder, but it's looking into Chinatown, which famously North Beach is adjacent to Chinatown, and North Beach has been shrinking as Chinatown has been growing. And so I don't know if you want to wade into the waters of this controversy or not, but like there's definitely a little bit of give and take there, where it's like I think both neighborhoods have benefited and gotten better by mixing with the other, but it's also been a little bit of a from the Italian American side, a little bit of, oh man, things are shrinking for us. But at the time that we started the show, you were saying that actually there's a bit of a revival happening in North Beach, at least in terms of the types of businesses that were opening and stuff like that. What was your sense before the pandemic hit, at least, like, of how that was going?
Well, the first video we actually did, Jeff, was the one where I took you around North Beach and tried to show you what was still there from days past. But even back then, there was starting to be a wave of new Italian immigrants coming to North Beach and starting businesses. And one of the things we did on that first tour was go around and I'd point out some of the new spots that had opened, in addition to some of the more well-established places that have been around for years. But you remind me, Jeff, about Little City is on Stockton and Vallejo. And when we did the shot outside of Little City, you could see Chinatown was right ahead of me going down towards Broadway, down towards downtown. And it used to be that North Beach extended, 3 or 4 blocks further down towards downtown. It really the border between Chinatown and North Beach was at Broadway. Now, when we did this, it was 4 blocks up. And in fact, one of the early episodes we did was about Vallejo Street, right? The one across the street from Little City, because everybody was worried about whether the Italian businesses on that strip were going to remain, or if anything became vacant, was going to go Chinese. And I don't know if you remember, there was a pizzeria, Puccinella, that the Caputo family sent over one of the grandsons to North Beach to see if they could establish a pizzeria in North Beach. And Caputo is the largest, most respected producer of 00 flour in Italy. 00 is the flour that you use for pizza dough. You and I spent some time with Mauro in Puccinella, and he was explaining all of the history and what they were trying to do with their pizzas. They had one of those wood burning ovens. The pizza came out in like 90 seconds. You got some great pictures of those. They were really great guys. And they talked to us about Puccinella, who the restaurant was named after. He's this guy from Commedia d'arte in Italy, one of these figures. And he was a guy that everybody thought he was stupid, but he really just put on a show. He put on an act because he was really very, very sleuth-like. He knew how to get what he wanted. So Mauro Caputo ended up closing the business. And in that video of them, you'll see up on the wall this muralist, Vanas, had painted this beautiful mural of Puccinella. When I went by and I saw the store was closed, I was aghast. I looked in, that whole mural they had pulled down and it was lying in pieces on the floor. I had emailed Mauro. I said, Mauro, I want to save that Puccinella mural. Can we do that? He said, oh, Johnny, I'm so sorry. We just took it down with crowbars. It's all lying on the floor. When I went over there, I was so sick. And it's part of this idea about, losing Vallejo Street. It became my passion. There's no way I'm going to lose this mural. And remember, I spent about 3-4 months saving
Hey, you
all
know
those
what?
pieces.
You know what, Johnny? That we got that video. I don't know if Gwen can get it or not, but it's on YouTube. It's on our channel, and it's only 1 minute and 15 seconds long.
I posted the link.
So yeah, there's she's posting a link to it now. If people want to watch it. I was hoping we might be able to play it, but I realized I didn't download it, so we can't play it on air. But
Okay.
yeah, there's yeah. Go and talk about that.
So, hold on a second. So when I finally met up with Matto after the business was closed and he allowed me to go in and scoop up all the pieces, he had this big, really big, this is probably over a foot tall. This is a Puccinella, and this is the character. And he gave it to me.
What is that? Explain Puccinella.
So Puccinella, Commedia d'arte in Italy are these characters, these mythical characters that really embody certain human characteristics. So Puccinella was an imp, right? He liked to cause trouble, and everybody thought that he was just a wise guy. He was a little dumb, but in fact he was very sly, and he used that persona to be able to accomplish whatever little intrigue he had going. So in Naples, Neapolitans love this guy because he's really an embodiment about how Neapolitans have survived down in the south of Italy. So I was very impressed that he gave it to me. And then I looked on the bottom. I had been collecting from Naples. There's a street in Naples. It's called Christmas Street, right? It's where all of the workshops where they make the figures and the creches, the mangers that people put out at Christmas. And in visiting there a few times, my favorite studio was this guy Esposito. He's like one of the best. I got a lot of his pieces. I got both sacred and profane little statues that he made. When I looked at the bottom of this was made by Maestro Esposito. So he's not alive anymore, but to have a grand, one of his terracotta figures of this size really is very special. The other figure, going back to that Puccinella stuff, I brought the remnants of the mural. It was on drywall, right? So when they took it down, they just stripped the drywall off the studs, and here it is, big pieces, little pieces lying on the ground. I had to put together a team to try to restore it, put all the pieces back, and then have Ronis come and fill in the places where he had to repaint. It was a major undertaking. We had to stabilize it. I used the local carpenter to frame it. It was heavy. And then I brought it to Emerald Gallery, and there was a woman and two people who owned it who were art experts. So they also were my advisors on how we might be able to restore this. It was such an adventure and such a struggle. I had to get some help. So there's a little gift shop in St. Francis Church right across the street. And I went in and I saw this statue. This is St. Francis in illumination. And I don't know if you can see it. It's not perfect. It's got some nicks on it. For some reason, I figured if I bought this and we had it overseeing the restoration at the gallery, we would be successful. So every day that I went over there to watch the progress, St. Francis would come with me. And I think it was because of his divine intervention, we were able to restore that mural in all its former glory. So between Puccinella and St. Francis, right? Profane and sacred. We got through it with a little help from our friends.
What happened to that gallery, Johnny? Is it still there?
No, they ended up closing. No, it's not there anymore. It was a great place. They not only had.
What happened to the mural?
I tried for a year to find some place that would hang the mural in North Beach. I could never find anybody who wanted to hang it. So it's actually sitting in a garage up here on Russian Hill. It's been untouched for years. So
Really?
even though it was, it was something that I wanted to get done, I never really achieved the goal of having it in place again in North Beach. I may go back and
What
see if
about?
anybody's interested in it again, because it's been a few
Oh yeah,
years
no,
since
we
I've
should.
tried.
Yeah, we should investigate that and see what's going on. What about in the lobby of your building? Do you think is there room on a wall somewhere? If
No,
I don't know, I'm just
this
dreaming
thing's
something up.
huge, right? It's probably
I
20
know,
feet
yeah.
wide, right? And it's probably about 12 feet high.
It's a
So,
mural. Yeah, it's big, and it's
yeah.
connected to a wall, a
And
segmented wall, right?
it's on drywall, so it's heavy as hell,
Yeah,
it probably weighs, a couple 100 pounds at least.
yeah,
Anyway, you want to move on? We had,
yeah.
Gwen told me that there was a question that came in about what's in my pantry. You guys want to hear that? I'll show you some
Yeah.
of the staples that I keep in there. So I got a lot of stuff, and I'm not including anything that's perishable. So, you always have garlic and shallot and your vegetables and everything. But I pulled out some things that I think is important and important parts of my savory pantry. The first thing I want to show you is this is the pasta, right? This is the spaghetti that I cook, and this comes from Campania, and in Campania, it's made with durum wheat and water. That's it, just those two ingredients. And because of the air and the way that they dry the pasta, I think it's some of the best in the world. And if you run your finger, why a bronze die? Why is that important? Because it makes a rough surface on the pasta. In Italy, they say the pasta should feel like a cat's tongue. So here's a package of this is this is pappardelle. And this is one of those classic pastas that are extruded through a bronze dough. I don't know if you can trust these people. They've only been making this stuff since the 1700s. The durum wheat is grown in certain parts of Campania, and this is all air dried. But look how gorgeous this is. So I've got I keep a variety of shapes of pasta from Campania that are through the bronze die. And you'll see on the package that it'll say trifala al bronzo, or you'll just see the word bronzo if it's all in Italian. And that's what you want to buy. Don't buy any of those mass-produced products because they go through a Teflon die and you don't get that rough surface. And why is that important? Because that helps the sauce adhere to the pasta. It's just the perfect combination.
Do you know why that happens?
Why it happens? Because when it goes through the bronze die, the die makes an irregular surface. So that's why. Why? Because that's the way the die is made. It's going through metal, not through Teflon or plastic. So when they do that,
it's something to do with the texture of the metal?
The texture. That's why I said if you run your hand over the outside, it's going to feel like a cat's tongue.
No, but I'm talking about is it the texture of the metal that creates the texture in the pasta?
Yes, that's why they use bronze dies. And there's a couple that they use gold dies to extrude the pasta through. I like bronze. I don't go for the gold. Okay, so that's number one, a variety of bronze die pastas from Italy. Here's another big one. Can you see that? San Marzano. And can you see DOP? That means that these tomatoes are grown in a certain part of Campania near Salerno, south of the Amalfi Drive. And they get DOP if they're grown organically in a certain area and according to the rules of production for this particular tomato. So any tomato-based sauce, I use these whole DOP tomatoes, and then you just crush them with your hand to get.
What does that mean? What does DOP mean?
It means that it's a government-regulated method of growing and production.
So you don't actually know what that stands for?
Yeah, I do, but I forget. You got to press me on this. I'll look it up. I think I might have said something on one of my websites. So my friends and I call these dope tomatoes. So I would visit my friends in Clifton, New Jersey, and we want to make pasta. This is going back years. And what do you got for tomatoes? She'd go down in the basement. She'd come up and she'd have like this Hunt's tomatoes or what. I said, I don't want shit tomatoes. You got to start buying dope tomatoes. So now every time I go there and we cook something in her kitchen, she knows that she's got to have the dope tomatoes. No more American ones. I mean, these are fantastic. When you pick them up to crush them, they'll fall apart in your hand. They're all meaty, not many seeds. Absolutely beautiful.
What about squid ink pasta? Matthew wants to know about squid ink pasta.
Yeah, I don't make it. It's too messy, because when you eat that, your tongue and your lips all get black. Were you with us that time when we were working and we brought some of the New York people to the Italian restaurant and one of the women ordered the squid pasta? She didn't realize she was going to stain her lips. We didn't tell her. She walked around for about a half hour with her lips all black until somebody said, "What the hell did you eat? What did you do? Your lips are black." No, I don't do it. I cook squid, but usually I cook squid mostly, in flour and then fried. Calamari fritti, that's my favorite. What else I got over here? Oh, another important thing to add. I always have some Italian belly tuna, right? And it's packed in olive oil. This is great. I mean, you can use this to make a tuna salad with, you can stuff peppers with that salad. You can make a sandwich out of it. A lot of times I'll just make a green salad and I'll put one of these small cans in there and just dress it with a little olive oil and vinegar. And that could be a meal for me with a nice loaf of bread. The other thing is anchovies. I always have a small jar of anchovy fillets that are packed in olive oil. And I went to look for them. I'm out, so it's on my shopping list. But that I like the ones in the can. I don't like the anchovy fillets that are, in the jar. I don't like the ones that are in the can because once you open the can, you got to use them all. In the jar, you could take out the few fillets that you want to use, make sure everything's still under olive oil and keep it on the shelf. But if I only need just a little bit of anchovy, you can get anchovy paste in a tube, right? It's just anchovy and olive oil. And then if you need a tablespoon or so, you can just squirt this out in the pan and use it that way. The other thing—
I don't know why that's funny.
What?
It just seems funny.
The other thing is I always have tomato paste in my, to thicken the sauce. Or my father's recipe for mussels, steamed mussels, he only used tomato paste for his sauce. And again, if I don't want to open a whole can, I keep a tube of tomato paste so I could squeeze out what I need without wasting the rest of the can.
So actually, Matthew Richards told us what DOP means. I'm going to try to read it because it's—
Oh, he looked it up. Thanks, Matthew.
No, he probably knew it. Man.
He didn't know it.
There it is.
He probably didn't even look it up. He probably had Nina do it for him because she—
Denominazione d'origine protetta.
Right. So
you said it.
It's the denomination of this particular product that's the original government way that you should do it, and the P is—
and it's protected.
It's protected, so you're guaranteed.
Thanks.
You're guaranteed you're getting what they say. Thanks, Matthew. Thanks, Nina. Whoever looked it up, I appreciate it. Okay, what else I got over here? I always have— I cook with extra virgin olive oil. My mother used to cook with pure olive oil. I don't like that. I like to use extra virgin. Right now, I'm partial to Partana. I get it in 3-liter cans and then pour it out into a bottle so that I can use it more conveniently. And I always get the November press. So I got the November press down at Palermo Deli in North Beach, and I use that. And then I always have a finishing oil. So the Partana, I use it for a salad, but mainly I use it for cooking. And then if I have a delicate dish that needs a sprinkle of olive oil, like a minestra, a soup or something like that, I'll use one of my finishing oils. But I never let my finishing oils see heat. They're too expensive. I want just their original quality. The other thing is you got to have a good balsamic vinegar. So this is good for salads. If I do agrodolce, you know, the sweet sour onions that I do, the flat onions, you always want to have a good balsamic vinegar around to cook with and to finish dishes. Then, if I want a more traditional thing, I think I told you guys about this. A friend of mine, Corrine, gave me some of the mother. I don't know if you can see it down here at the bottom, but there's like this sludge down there. It's like, it's almost as if it's alive. That's the mother. She gave me a piece of her mother that was from, her family's from France. It was Burgundy wine from France that she started. And now I don't have to buy Italian red wine vinegar because I have my own. I keep this, and anytime I have a little bit of a Zinfandel, a Sangiovese wine left over, I add it to the jar, so I never run out of it. Can you guys see the mother on the bottom of the?
No,
Anyway,
not really.
it's there.
Yeah, it's good. It's there. Yeah.
Okay, what else I want to
I'm
show
sure they
you?
all believe you.
Oh, the other thing, everybody thinks I'm picky about this, but I use imported sea salt, and this is from Sicily. If you're in Sicily, you should go to an area called Trapani. That's where they have these salt plains, these pools, shallow pools where they let the water in, they dry it out and collect the salt. Absolutely beautiful area. I really like the taste of the salt that comes from there. What else I got over here? Oh, and the other thing that's important to me is I never use, I always use freshly grated pepper. So these are telecherry peppercorns. I think they're the most flavorful. And I always keep these around. Anytime I use black pepper in a recipe, it's always freshly crushed. So that's a little bit my savory pantry. If you want to know what I got, for example, when I make, you know, the fried zeppole, the San Giuseppe, the pastry with the boiled cream inside, or my pastiera, the Easter pie, or pizza rustica, the savory pie, I'll let you know what ingredients are on that side of my pantry too. Oh, one other thing. I got 4, 5 different kinds of flour. I got unbleached all-purpose. I use that, you know, that's probably the one I use the most. I have bread flour when I'm making bread. And I got, of course, Caputo's 00 for my pizza dough. And I also have 2 others, semolina flour and chestnut flour. And depending on the recipe, sometimes I need to use one of those 2. Really flavorful and very different, semolina and the chestnut flour. In fact, thanks to Gwen, I was going back and I saw the recipe for semolina bread with sesame seeds on top. And so I think sometime this week I'm going to do a couple of loaves of semolina bread. For those of you who live in Jersey, if you go to Calandra's Bakery, you'll always see that they have the regular flour loaves of bread, and also the one when you cut it, the inside looks a little yellow. That's the one with the semolina. And I'm always so happy when I'm in Jersey that I can go to Calandra's and get some semolina loaves of bread.
Hey, Johnny, I don't mean to go backwards, but there was a question. Somebody asked, how do you cook with balsamic vinegar?
There's a classic recipe on the website where I do cipollini onions, right? Those are the Italian flat onions, and it's an agrodolce. So it's sugar or honey plus balsamic vinegar. So I blanch the onions and get them a little soft, and then I finish them off in butter with a little bit of sugar or honey and balsamic vinegar. So it's agrodolce, sweet and sour. Sometimes I'll use it also in, mostly I use the good balsamic as a cold ingredient, like in the salad. Sometimes I'll use it to pour over maybe a piece of a strong tasting fish, like swordfish or something like that. But you'll get an example of using it in a recipe in the cipollini agrodolce. I think that's included in that first porchetta episode that caused all the problems with the Italians yelling and screaming. He's like a He's like a guy giving out counterfeit money with these recipes. This ain't how we do porchetta. Remember that? We got hundreds of emails from the Italians complaining. That's what led to going and find our own pig and doing it the right way. That
Hey,
led to the porchetta
Why
war.
don't we play that for people? I think it's only like 6 minutes long. I don't know. We can let people decide if they want us to play that video in the stream so we can talk about it afterwards, or if they think that's going to be too much of a diversion away. We'll see what the comments say, but let's keep chatting until we see what people want to do. Because we can play that video, the porchetta war video, which I think is it's pretty good. It's a pretty good piece. If I do say
and
so
you know
myself.
what, Jeff? I think that maybe one of your and Gwen's best pieces. Not only was it a whole adventure, right? We had to find this farm up in Northern California that raised pigs. We had to make arrangements for us to go up there, pick out a pig. It had to get shipped down to Golden Gate Meat at Furry Building in San Francisco, and it had to be deboned. We went and got a big rotisserie to barbecue this day. It was the whole pig, head to tail, right? And we were able to use my friend Marie's backyard a few blocks from me, and we invited, I don't know, we probably had 50, 60 of my fans who came to enjoy porchetta that day. So we just wanted to
and it looks like people really want to see it. They're responding pretty positively. So we'll play it. So don't give too much of it away, because as soon as Gwen gets it queued up, she'll play it for us. But yeah.
Can I take a bathroom break while she's playing and I know what it is?
Yeah, do that. Yeah.
Okay, see you later. Maybe I'll come back.
Okay.
Cutting over.
One of my favorite dishes, and my family and friends love it too, is porchetta. So I made one a while ago, and I used the loin, butterflied out the loin, put the herbs on the inside, tied it up, and roasted it in the oven, and it was absolutely delicious. So we posted the video, and then all of a sudden, I'm starting to get these emails from these Italians. This ain't porchetta. He's like a guy giving out counterfeit money with this recipe. This isn't how we do porchetta. Kind of pissed me off a little bit, because in Italy, you usually just go and there's a truck, and the truck's got porchetta. You go up and you order a sandwich. They slice it up, put it on bread and go. That's how most Italians now enjoy porchetta. We decided that we were gonna go one better than the Italians. So the first thing we did was find a pig, right? Most important ingredient in a porchetta. So we found Rancho Llano Seco up in Chico, and we found Bella up there. Beautiful, beautiful pig.
For over 150 years, we've been raising pigs on this ranch. We're GAP certified, GAP meaning Global Animal Partnership, and we are level 2 GAP, which means that our pigs who are certified in that level have never been treated with antibiotics, no added hormones. We allow them outdoor access 24/7. They are born in small groups in our nesting boxes. It's on the ground, on the dirt, in the hay. They're kept with their mothers. The mom, she can get out of her own box and socialize with all the other mothers in the barn, go get water, feed, lay down, take a break.
There's 10 barns of pigs up at the ranch. They got little piglets about this big. They got some sows that are really big, butting into each other. I don't want to get in their way.
Once the piglets are weaned, their group continues to grow together, and so they're never separated from their birth group.
I wanted to try to find one that had a good Duroc bloodline. The Duroc used to be called a Jersey Red, right? I'm a Jersey guy. So as soon as I knew this Duroc that was running around with a red coat had a good Jersey Red bloodline, that was my Bella. So that was the one that we picked out. So Bella made the trip successfully from the rancho down to San Francisco. I met up with her at the Furry Building at Golden Gate Meats.
John, welcome. Good to see you.
Hey, Bella's here.
Bella, is that what you named her?
Yeah, she's looking good.
Here this morning.
Ciao, Bella. Tom deboned Bella with the skill of a surgeon. I really was like touched because my dad was a butcher. They didn't have daycare, so sometimes I'd have to go down to the meat market with him. And he'd make a little wooden knife for me, and I got to play butcher, and I got to put on an apron. So Tom offered me one of the butcher aprons to put on, and brought me back to those days on Garside Street in the First Ward of Newark. So the spit was complicated. We had to get that all arranged, and after a little testing, it finally all worked out. And we let Bella spin on that spit for a long time. We were starting to get a little worried that she wasn't going to be ready by the time that the guests started to arrive. But people started flooding in, And it was really interesting to see them watch the final stages of the roasting of the porchetta. Who's first up? How about the skin? So after a successful porchetta feast, I want to thank the Italians for reminding me of the importance of food traditions and food culture and inspiring me to do this porchetta farm to table. No. Eating on the grid is something that I abandoned a long time ago. Still moist? I'd rather eat very good quality food grown within about 50, 60 miles of San Francisco. Eat it when it's in season and at its best. Sometimes they don't give this to you. They keep it for themselves in the kitchen. This is the crack of the skin. And the porchetta episode was a chance to bring all of those ingredients together. Bella, you did a good job. Hey, Jeff, you know, as I've been rewatching this recently from time to time, we ought to put something on the front of this that if you're not a meat eater, you should not watch this video. It could be really upsetting to vegetarian, vegan people. But if you're an omnivore, if you eat meat, then go for it.
I mean, I think the word porchetta kind of gives it away, but nonetheless, it is a little bit extreme what we've got going on.
It's a little graphic,
really
right?
People. Yeah.
It's a little graphic. The other thing I want to say, the other reason why I think this is one of your best episodes, because it also is an example of how I learned from my mother and my Aunt Florence, right? They were Italian, Southern Italian immigrants. When they got here, of course, the recipes, some of them were modified given the American environment. But this is a good example of, the hummingbird's back. This is a good example of what I do when I go back to Italy. I try to find the original roots of the dishes I'm cooking. So then I can make a decision about whether I want to go back to the original recipe or keep the variations that evolved here in the Italian-American kitchen. You know, and there's that story about how I was able to go back to my mother's birth village, Belliclano, about 45 miles in the Apennine foothills, where I actually went to a restaurant with my friends, and this woman, Zia Adjua, God bless her soul, she's passed now, was making a dish that I was looking for 3 days. My mother used to make fusilli, and I used to help her wrap the strings of pasta around the knitting needles so you get that corkscrew shape. And I was looking for beef braciole. For 3 days, I couldn't find any of the restaurants we went. So our angel in Belliclano took us, he said, if you want to go get something to eat, we're going to take you to Zia Adjua. Whatever she's cooking, that's what you're going to eat. So we went in, and what does she tell us she has for the main course? She's got fusilli and beef braciole. I'm looking for 3 days. So anyway, you know, you eat your pasta as a first course, and then they serve the meat as a second course. So she gives all my friends around the table one braciole. She gives me 2. She goes back in the kitchen. Her husband cranks up the opera. He brings out another carafe of wine. She comes up and she leans in my ear and she said, "You're in Italian. You're enjoying this so much because that's the way your mother made it for you." She didn't know me from Adam. So we had a lot of experiences like that where we thought that our ancestors were looking after us. But this is another example of going back to the roots of the food, so you understand the true historical context of what you're making now in an Italian-American kitchen.
That's really nice. I love hearing you tell that story, John. It's obvious that it's coming from here. I like seeing you get choked up and tell that over your emotion. And I think people understand that all that infuses into your food and the way that you cook and the way that you present food. And you know, we kind of had fun with the porchetta war video to play up the kind of like rivalry of Italians criticizing you, and then you kind of one-upping them and being, "Oh yeah, every time you eat a porchetta sandwich, do you go get a pig and put it on a spit?" But but really it's not supposed to be about that. And hopefully people took it in the right spirit. It wasn't about one-upping or about responding to trolling or anything like that. It was a fun way to emphasize, slow food, which has its origins in Italy, right?
Exactly, exactly. And all of that is in that video. So thank you. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Now the cops are
Somebody's
coming to
going what?
shut us down.
No. Good. He shut off the siren, or she shut off the siren. So
Good.
we're already over an hour. What are we doing here? Should I talk a little bit about
I think we
my
can-
time in
we can-
Providence?
Yeah, maybe, but I think we need to start winding it down. So maybe we'll answer some more
Take
questions. So
questions?
if people have,
Sure.
yeah, we can get some questions going here, and then we'll try to squeeze in some time for your Providence story. But I don't know. Let's just see how
It's
it goes.
there.
How about that?
Okay.
So
Wait
let's
a
see, I'm
minute.
just gonna
Make sure
grab
that
something.
Matt and Nina are still on in case I don't know the answers. They can look it up for me.
Yeah, actually, he posted a comment. He said, "My mother's family, the name's Primavera, is from Salina, Amalfi, Italy. I cannot wait to go back to my family's village."
Yeah. So his family's, the Amalfi Drive, very famous. So he's from a town that's just south of the Amalfi Drive. It's beautiful, beautiful country. And my friend Santo, who's got the restaurant in North Beach, that's where he's from too, around Salerno.
And then we got another Italian name here, Michael Gramaglia. He says, "Hey Johnny, Michael from Bay Ridge. How did yours differ from the Italian? Same herbs?"
Oh,
I guess the porchetta.
Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. Yeah, that's
Oh,
Bay
he doesn't
Ridge,
specify.
Brooklyn. Yeah,
Yeah.
that used to be a great Italian neighborhood. I remember going with a friend of mine, Dominic, from law school. He took me to a restaurant there. I forget the name of it, but it was one of the best best meals in the world. So, like on the porchetta, right? There really are a lot of herb mixtures in Italy. In Rome, for example, they use primarily rosemary and the herb of angels, fennel pollen, right? Very expensive. And garlic, salt, and pepper, and the rosemary is predominant. So that's the recipe I use for this porchetta. If you go to other areas, even around Rome, in certain areas around Rome, they'll mix up those ingredients. Sometimes they'll add other things, parsley, maybe oregano. But for me, the classic one is fresh rosemary and some form of fennel. I like using the fennel pollen because it's like a powder that you can just sprinkle around, and the flavor and the aroma is just incredible.
So a lot of people are asking if we're going to make more videos, cooking videos.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Ask them. They want me to. What do they want me to do?
Oh yeah, no, they are very clearly saying they want some cooking videos. So I think we should just right now kind of commit to figuring out a way. Even if we can't do it all live, if we can figure out a way to get you going in your kitchen, we're gonna give the people what they want. What do you think?
Love it. I'd give it a try.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm retired. I can do whatever I want, especially now I can't travel nowhere. So we might as well do something in the kitchen, no?
No, for sure. And maybe, if we're relatively relaxed right now, or you can go down to the village, maybe, if you can get some footage of yourself down there with your guys at the different, Little City Meats, or people down at Union Produce if they open back up, and we can just try to, we can try to put out some cooking videos that'll help people get through this last stretch.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, that'd be fun. Hopefully the folks who are on the live stream today will stick with us. I'd love to.
Well, yeah. And so we just encourage people, like, we know you're going to stay connected, but watch some videos and tell your friends. And the more that we see, like, if we keep getting some subscribers, that'll keep us motivated to be like, oh man, we gotta we gotta give people what they want. So we got a couple of
remember the
videos.
challenge, Jeff. Remember, sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt. Remember the challenge. You
I'll
told
tell
me
you
the
what.
other day that we had 4.5 million views on
Yeah.
YouTube, right?
Yeah,
And
but
there were a
Yeah.
couple of them that were over 500,000 just on one video. Didn't you want to challenge people to keep looking at certain ones so we could get one of those videos to go over 1 million?
yeah, so we've never had a single video go over 1 million views. So the Sunday gravy video is somewhere around 700,000. And the original porchetta video, which we didn't show here, today as one of the earliest episodes as well. That one's somewhere around 600,000, I think. So we just thought it would be fun. If people on the live stream tonight, they want to just go to Sunday Gravy and just watch it as many times in a row as you can, and tell all your friends to watch it. And if we get over 1 million views on that video, we will instantly shoot a new cooking video and release it. So
Yes.
that's our challenge.
And they don't have to watch the whole thing, right? As long as they log on, it's going to count as a view, or they got to watch the whole thing.
I don't know how that works, but I think
stick with it
in
as
order
long as
to
you can.
in order to make it count as a new view, you probably have to get to the end and then watch it
Okay.
again.
Okay,
But-
we'll see. A
or
little
near the
challenge
end,
for
but-
you guys out there. You could always put it on mute and go in the kitchen and do something else.
yeah, exactly. Anyway, I guess we should probably wrap it up then. Do you have any parting words for the people?
From me,
Yeah, from you.
stay safe.
Yeah. That's it. Great.
Stay safe so you
I-
survive. Stay safe so you survive. Your family survives. You're healthy so you can be around when we get back in the kitchen together.
That's right. All right. Well, on behalf of Gwen, who put all this together, and myself, I just want to thank everybody for showing up and participating and being civil. And hopefully we will see you again real soon. And by we, I mean Johnny, not me. All right,
Okay,
guys.
guys.
You
Ciao,
can keep
ciao.
the comments coming.
As they say in this